The wait is finally over, and football is back around the NFL. Aaron Rodgers and the new-look Steelers traverse to New York City for a showdown with Justin Fields and the New York Jets. We have all the latest on this matchup coming up next. You are watching Steelers Kickoff. It's live right here on KDKA TV.
Welcome to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Good morning, everyone. A live look from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Steelers season is set to begin this afternoon right here on KDKA. It might be beautiful here in Pittsburgh, but it's a rainy morning in New York. Welcome back. Here we go. We're inside the Steelers studios for our first edition of Steelers Kickoff 2025. Bob Pompeani, joined as always by the quarterback of the program, Mr. Charlie Batch. And the big development last night, of course, was Cam Hayward, who will play today. We will have the latest on his situation coming up in this broadcast. So after a pretty busy, crazy offseason, I think we're both ready to go here, Charlie, in studio. How excited are you about this new look Pittsburgh Steelers?
I'm excited about it because this is the best weekend in football, opening day. So this is going to be something that we're all excited about as many fans are sitting at home in preparation for today's game. All
right, the major story in the offseason, of course, was trading places at the quarterback position, with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Steelers from New York and Justin Fields arriving in Pittsburgh from the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers joined the team during the mandatory minicamp, and since then, he has become a player favorite in that locker room. Like so many of those players said, all right, he's the captain of this team. And he was voted that earlier this week. Rodgers knows he doesn't have a lot of time left in this NFL, and he's looking forward to making the most of this particular opportunity.
I'm loving being here. The way that I've been welcomed has been really special, from top down to the fans to guys in the locker room and support staff, the men and women that work for this organization. It's been really special. But no, I'm enjoying everything Pittsburgh related, and excited about the season to start.
All right, so let's take a look at the Hyundai by the numbers on Rodgers' career. He ranks first in passer rating, 7th in completions and passing yards, 5th in passing touchdowns, 97th all-time for interceptions. That's a good number, especially for a guy who is still kicking at 41 years of age. Now it's time for our Charlie Batch quarterback analysis, which is brought to you by Cleveland Brothers. And Rodgers didn't play at all in the preseason, Charlie, so I guess we have to go back to last year to try to figure out what you saw from him. What did you see from him?
Yeah, looking at last year, I mean, he had close to 3,900 yards last year, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He can still throw the football here. You can see him pushing the football down the field, something that the Steelers are trying to incorporate into this offense. And he's moving around in the pocket. That's what you want to see, making the throws down the middle of the field, something that has been missing in this offense in the past. So everything that he did last year, if he can bring that here to the Steelers offense, they should be excited about it. Up until this point, he looks phenomenal in practice. He just hasn't done it in the game. So now what does the tempo look like from practice, and now incorporate that into the game, something we'll all pay attention to early on.
He was very good in the red zone, too, and that's something the Steelers need. Touchdowns, not field goals, as we mentioned earlier. Justin Fields' departure was a big reason Rodgers ever came to Pittsburgh in the first place. Fields saw action this preseason with his new team after signing a 2-year, $40 million deal in New York. After the Steelers made him an offer, he turned it down in free agency. We'll have more on his offseason coming up later in the show with our Jets preview. But right now, it's time to head east for Rutherford, New Jersey. Rich Walsh, who's been covering the team all week, got a sense for the excitement of a Week 1 opener.
And there is definitely a lot of optimism in that Steelers locker room, and there should be a new and improved offense, also adding key pieces to the defense. And today is the first chance for them to show off all those changes. Also the first chance we get to see Aaron Rodgers in black and gold.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel real good.
Aaron Rodgers is treating the opener against his former team like just another game.
Yeah, it's week 1.
Even though the 4-time MVP won't admit it, I'm sure this game means a little more than some others. But either way, he's ready and excited to get the season started.
I think I got a pretty good handle on it. Yeah, I think spent a lot of time studying in Latrobe and here, and feel good about finishing Art sentences when he starts to call plays.
And the opener always has a little more to it because it's the first. It's just to finally get this thing started here.
I'm very excited, so I'm very excited. I can't wait.
It's a chance to see all the hard work that was put in during the offseason. Training camp practices and preseason games are in the past. Now it all counts.
You know, we've had good meetings so far this week. We've been executing all camp, and so just going out there in a game-like setting, being able to be on the same page, and I'm very excited for this work week with the guys, and I think we'll be good.
We just got to go out there and deliver. And we know we have a bunch of great players in this defense, a bunch of guys who are able to make a lot of plays. And so we also have a lot of depth in all positions as well.
All right, now I'm with our Steelers insider, Gerry Dulac. And Jerry, we had some breaking news overnight. Cam Hayward gets a little sweetener. Can you tell me a little bit about the deal?
Yeah, Rich, and it's really not much of a sweetener. It's $3.2 million playoff incentives, which may or may not even be reached. One, they have to get to the postseason, and even if they do, their history better be, or their performance better be better than their recent history, or they've lost their last 5. So, if people looked at this as a battle between the Steelers and Cam Hayward, I can tell you Cam Hayward did not win in this deal. I can't imagine that he's thrilled with the arrangement. But, they were never going to give him a new contract, Rich. He has 2 years left on this deal. They just don't do that. So they added this playoff incentive, quote, sweetener, and we'll see if he even gets to reach it, $3.2 million. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, maybe a two-part question here. Do you think there was ever a chance of him sitting out? Also, are we going to go through this again next year if he does have a good season?
Well, Rich, at least next year he's down to 1 year remaining on his deal, and the Steelers do renegotiate contracts when a player has 1 year remaining, not 2. It's just like with T.J. Watt this year. They redid his deal because he had 1 year left. They weren't going to redo Cam's deal because he has 2 years left. So that possibility exists that they could do that. But don't forget, next year Cam Hayward's 37. And do they want to give him any type of multi-year deal? He wanted that last year, and then he turns around and says he wants a new deal. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out.
All right, switching to the offensive side of the ball, everyone's going to be paying attention to number 8, Aaron Rodgers. But I want to focus on the running back rotation. New running back room. How are they going to utilize all 3 guys?
Yeah, Rich, I think people are going to see Kenneth Gainwell more than maybe they expect. And you're obviously going to start with Jaylen Warren. I think they want to work Caleb Johnson in, but I think that's going to be a little slow at the beginning. Caleb Johnson is a great fit for Arthur Smith's wide zone scheme, which we're seeing more and more of. Kenneth Gainwell is very good in that pass game. We saw him a lot in the preseason and in training camp. He's going to play more, I think, than people think, and it's going to be like a 3-man rotation, unlike the 2-man rotation we saw last year.
All right, thanks a lot, Jerry. As always, great stuff. Now we'll send it back to you guys in Pittsburgh.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Steelers are favored in this game. Coming up, we'll also take a look at the injury situation for both teams. We're just getting started here on Steelers Kickoff. When we come back, Rich has an interview with DK Metcalf. That's coming up.
Welcome back to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
All right, welcome back to Steelers Kickoff. Other than Aaron Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh in the offseason, the other major Omar Khan splash came via trade when the GM landed star wideout DK Metcalf from Seattle. Rich Walsh spent some time with Metcalf over on the South Side earlier this week.
So DK, you spent your entire career in one place. Now you're here, putting on the black and gold. What's that like?
Man, it's great. Breath of fresh air. New opportunity for me to continue to build on the legacy that I've already built, and Seattle gave me the opportunity to do that. But yeah, man, just excited just to get things started.
So obviously you played with Russ. Now you're playing with Aaron, 2 quarterbacks that you spent a lot of time with. What's the big difference between the 2?
They're 2 different people, hence their names. But 2 great quarterbacks in their own rights. Just looking forward to, trying to build the chemistry with Aaron, kind of like I had with Russ.
What's your rapport been like with Aaron Rodgers so
far?
Great.
Just me trying to learn from him, how he sees the game. He's always telling me, what he sees in my game that I can work on, or, what I could do better. So I'm always, here for that criticism. But, just trying to be, hold on to his coattail and just try to learn as much as I can while he's here.
Well, durability has been a key for you over the years, right? I don't think you missed a game. I mean, how has that become? How have you been able to do that?
I don't know. God's blessed me, man. So I guess genetics is one, and just me being able to bounce back from a football game is another one. And just taking care of my body, drinking lots of water, doing rehab, doing therapy, prehab stuff. So I think a list of all of those things combined, helps for a healthy career like I've had.
And boy, he's had that for sure, thanks to Rich and DK there. And here's a look at Metcalf's season averages. Now, these are season averages coming from Seattle from 2019 to 2024. He plays nearly every game. He's good for over 100 targets, nearly 75 catches, over 1,000 receiving yards each year. Along with 8 touchdowns, he should fit right in here as a #1 target. So, Charlie, how much of this addition to this offense is going to make a difference here with DK Metcalf, especially he looks at times unguardable. The guy is a freak of nature.
Absolutely. If you watch him, he is a stud by nature, just like you mentioned there, Bob. But this is a guy, he was just under 1,000 yards last year. But he averages 15 yards to catch, and he understands how to make those big plays. So he's going to have to continue now to be able to beat the double team. And you know Aaron Rodgers is going to find him in that particular matchup. But ultimately, he's going to be a nice progression in this offense.
Yeah, one-on-one battles, he really does well on those. You throw it up, you're normally going to get a reception. All right, we're moving right along on our opening Steelers kickoff of the season. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this matchup as we take a live look from MetLife Stadium. Steelers and Jets coming up at 1 o'clock here on KDKA. And when we come back, Rich is back with a preview of Justin Fields and the Jets. What have they been up to? Keep it locked right here on KDKA TV.
There's a few iconic franchises in the NFL.
Felt welcome, you know, that they wanted to bring me to this historic organization. This is a storied franchise.
Steelers Nation, it's a new season. Are you ready?
This is the moment
we've all been waiting for.
Jerome Bettis. Jalen Warren's got a big game. To the 5, touchdown.
We're locked in.
Ready for battle. They wanted me.
Because here we leave it all on the field.
Down he goes.
Always have.
Throws it back corner of the end zone. Santonio with the touchdown.
Always will.
He's got the interception.
Peyton Wilson with the interception.
And we
are all in this together. It's go time.
He fires it down the field.
He is slammed. Harrison slammed it. Here we go.
Well, if you're not ready for Steelers football, you are right now, or else you're scared. One of the two. Steelers kickoff continues here on KDKA TV, and it's time to head back to northern New Jersey, outside of New York City. Rich Walsh is standing by with a preview of the New York Jets. Rich.
So, Bob, so many storylines with today's game, and it's hard to imagine what the NFL schedule makers have to go through placing matchups into different times and different weeks. But I would imagine that this matchup was planned very early on.
Since the schedule came out in May, all eyes have been on this battle of the scorned quarterbacks when both Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers will face their former teammates.
I mean, yeah, the storyline's crazy. I mean, that's why the NFL set us up for week 1, just for that. But, I mean, yeah, it's cool to, you know, kind of see that. And, you know, it's going to be fun, you know, going up against these guys on Sunday. So.
Rodgers was not happy when new Jets head coach Aaron Glenn asked him to fly across the country just to tell him he was being let go. This week, Glenn had a testy exchange with the New York media about that meeting.
That's been gone. So I'm not going to answer questions about guys that's not here and what I saw. Right now, I'm looking at what our guys can do. So,
like scouting him now,
just like I said, I'm not going to sit there and answer questions on what I saw back then that's not relevant to right now.
The quarterback situation wasn't the only drama for both teams this offseason. The Steelers basically revamped their entire offensive personnel group, and Glenn brought in new coordinators on both sides of the ball.
The component of week 1 football is not necessarily about who you play, but how you play. So make no mistake, we got a lot of respect for the challenges of preparing for and then ultimately playing the Jets. But like most people in week 1, our focus is the quality of our work, the quality of our play, our division of labor, our ability to display situational knowledge and execute and make quality plays within them circumstances, etc.
So lots of uncertainty, but as we look at today's South College game plan, one thing is for sure. Mike Tomlin wants to improve his team's results versus the Jets. Over his tenure here, he just 500 against the Mean Green, although all of his 5 losses have come by just 1 score or less. Meanwhile, the Steelers defense could have a good matchup up front. The Jets offensive line took a big hit. Their best offensive lineman, Elijah Vera-Tucker, is out for the entire season, so now they're sliding guys over. So maybe you can expect some confusion up front from the Jets early on, guys.
And a very active TJ Watt, you would think. All right, Rich, thanks very much. Now it's time to send the program over to the South Side. Our good friend Merrill Hodge, who takes a look at the Jets' running game, which does include their quarterback, Justin Fields.
Hi, everyone. Welcome into the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex for the Playbook. Opening day. We're going to actually create a theme. We're going to talk about the 2 most important aspects to win consistently in the NFL for over 100 years. Number one, you have to control the tempo of the game. Number two, you have to control and win the turnover battle. There is no doubt the Jets are going to run the football. They're committed to running the football. Now, this might be the biggest wild card of the whole thing, is Justin Fields. In passing situations, here is probably the hardest thing for the Steeler defense in this matchup. Here's the rule, you can't get beyond the quarterback. That is a critical component to playing Justin Fields. His legs are more dangerous than his arm. So you have to push him laterally if he escapes. You cannot let him go vertically right away or you're in trouble. So even though it's a preseason, they probably didn't really game plan a lot of this. So you got to keep that in mind. But this is what you can't do. And if you do, this is what happens. If you get beyond the quarterback like they eventually do here, okay, everybody's beyond the quarterback. Okay, when that happens, it is over. All Justin Fields will do is score a touchdown on you with his legs, because his legs are more dangerous than his arm. So the running game for the New York Jets is the primary perspective of this particular matchup. They have to stop that. If they do stop that, that gives them an awesome chance to win opening day.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much, Merrill. From one former Steeler to another here. Charlie, how do you think the Steelers contain Fields and avoid what we saw there in that Green Bay game? And what will the Jets do differently that the Steelers didn't do with Fields?
Yeah, great job by Merrill breaking down that film right there, Justin Fields. The Steelers have advantage in this department. Why? Because they have to face Lamar Jackson and the Ravens twice a year. So because of the speed that happens there, you're going to have one person collapse on the football and one person maintaining and keeping eyes on Justin Fields to make sure he does not break containment. So this is going to be something that they always going to pay attention to, only because you understand the ability that he has with his legs.
Yeah, it should be interesting today. Time to take a look at what's to come on the NFL Today. Following our show here, James Brown is standing by from Green Bay, Wisconsin, as the crew hits the road for the first week of the NFL season. JB, take it away.
Thanks, Bob. Up next on the NFL Today, folks, we are celebrating today's return to football right here in Green Bay ahead of the game between the Lions and the Packers. And we'll break down the season opener as Aaron Rodgers leads your Steelers to take on the Jets. Then J.J. Watt taps in and we'll see what's on his mind. And stick around to see if my guys can actually make the legendary Lambeau Leap. But first, Bob and Charlie will be right back with Steelers Kickoff continues right here on KDKA.
Steelers Kickoff is presented by McClellan's Contracting and Roofing. If our name goes on it, we stand behind it, so you can stand in it.
All right, always important to find out who's playing, who's not. Let's take a look at the inactives from today. And this will be news for the Steelers because Skylar Thompson was questionable all week. He's out, and so is Nick Herbig. Let's talk about that. We knew about Derek Carman, but how much of a big loss is Nick Herbig here, Charlie?
Yeah, this is a big one right here. He is their third pass rusher right here. Now, this is Jack Sawyer time. You drafted him for a reason because of his ability to get after the quarterback. We didn't think his time was going to happen this soon, but here he is right now with his chance to throw his hand in the pile.
You might get a chance to see Jack Sawyer. Who knows how things go today. Almost out of time here on Steelers Kickoff. Pittsburgh and New York coming up at 1 o'clock today on KDKA. One more live look at MetLife before we go. We have all your predictions coming up next.
Welcome back to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Steelers are favored in this game. Will they win the game? Rich Walsh, just go back to you in East Rutherford.
Well, it's a battle of two disrespected and disgruntled quarterbacks, but I think this battle today is won by the Steelers' defense. I do think the Steelers' offense could struggle at times with guys not playing in the preseason. I like the Steelers to win this one by 10, 23-13, guys.
All right. Charlie, you're up next.
Yeah, I think this game is going to start off slow, and if you love defense, this is going to be the game for you in the first half. That picks up in the second half. The Steelers do prevail, 24-13.
All right, Gerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette sends in this prediction today. He likes the Steelers as well, 26-13. I think, like Charlie, it'll be a slow start. It'll be one of those kind of games, but the Steelers will figure out a way to win it at 19-13. Now let's take a look at what we have coming up today on KDKA and KDKA Plus. After this program, it's the NFL Today on CBS. At 1 o'clock, of course, it's the Steelers and Jets. Following the game, if you'd like, switch on over because we got you covered with Steelers Extra Point. Chris Hoke will be in the studio breaking it down. Rich will be in the locker room. 5 o'clock, a special edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call where you call us. And if you don't get in then, join us tonight, 10:35 for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We do that 7 nights a week, and then we wrap it all up at midnight. It's a long day, but it's a great day when football season is returning. It's the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. Charlie, looking forward to it. Should be an interesting game and a great start to the season. Steelers need to get off to a fast start.
Absolutely. This is it. There's going to be a lot of Steeler fans in the house here today.
48%. That's what they say. We'll see how it goes. And thank you for joining us on this game day. Coming up, it's the NFL Today on CBS, followed by Kickoff at 1. We hope you have a great Steelers Sunday.